Try some drivers too. Yeah, and then obviously with that inefficiency, you know, your buddies, whoever you're playing with that are good golfers, you hit like a 9-iron the same distance as them, but then their driver goes 50 yards further, and you're like, that's frustrating. Yeah.
It's also frustrating playing at like a 14 with a bunch of scratches.
Well, how about we get you to scratch?
Yeah, just something where they're okay playing with me.
We'll get you to scratch, and then you still play to a 14, and then you take all their money. And then for a month as your handicap, as you start posting scores, then you're taking all their money.
That'd be nice.
Okay, you ready for some drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hit a few drivers. Usually it's the same, you have a problem, it's just magnified by the time you get to that club.
Right, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, so the fact that you're doing what you're doing in a pitching wedge just is the same. It'll tee up right in the mat there, yeah. The fact that you're doing what you're doing in your swing, the pitching wedge just effectively goes straighter. You can tee up a little further up here. But then the driver just magnifies in it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the short game's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
60-yard shot goes 20 yards. That's a rarity.
Yeah, rarity that goes straight. Let me see your driver. 57 gram stiff. Okay, good. Go for it. All right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna see this. So take your lacrosse stick and cradle a ball for me, right? And then if you're gonna take it and chuck it, yeah, perfect. You just did it exactly how I was hoping you would do it. So do it again. Right, now look what's happening here. Look at this. See that?
Yeah.
Do it again.
Is that good or bad?
It's good. What are you doing? You're effectively throwing the stick, right?
My bottom hand.
Yep, and which part of your bottom hand?
Like in here.
Yeah, through this muscle, through this knuckle, not this thumb.
Got it.
So
the thumb's kind of just there to keep it
it's kind of there for stability, right? Now, pull your lacrosse stick back and throw it off the thumb.
Yeah.
Not as good.
No.
Throw it off that finger. Right now, throw me you're shooting on goal, but you're gonna like bounce it in there, right? And now throw me an underhand one. Yeah. See feel the difference?
Yeah, that was always if you want crossbar.
Yeah.
Your knuckles scraping against the crossbar.
There you go. And where's the pressure? So if I put a little resistance, exactly. So if I put a little resistance and you push against, where's it coming out of?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah. So what's happening is you don't know how to hold your right hand on the golf club.
Right.
Because where all of your pressure is on your golf club is through your thumb.
Got it.
So now if you pushed on the thumb, it's going to do that, and then this is what happens. So we have to change your right hand grip.
Got it.
So effectively do a golf grip, and then show me that same crossbar release.
So I basically just don't want any pressure in my thumb.
Yep. So where is it flinging from now?
Yeah, from this knuckle.
Yeah, and this is a learning process. Yeah. But this knuckle can be like not here, but put your thumb down. Right? Let's say you flung it off of that.
Uh-huh.
That would probably hurt if you hit the ground.
Right.
But if you flung it off of this knuckle, like this is a strong place to be. So I put my foot here, push against my foot.
Right.
It's coming through here, kind of up through the arm and shoulder, very similar to what we just did with the lacrosse stick, right?
Right.
So if you can figure out how to get that pressure there and then fling it through this zone, right? So it's like in golf, for you, your miss was down and thumb. Well, if all the pressure was on the thumb, that's like,
It's just because it's opening up.
yeah, it's opening up and you're pushing down. So if I hold it there, put your thumb on top, and you push down on my hand, that's what's one half of what you were doing.
Right.
And the other half was that as you push down, it was
Right,
opening. So now we're never going to push on the top, and we're never going to push with the thumb. We're going to push on the side. So if you look at this logo right here on your grip, that's on the bottom. And then if you push directly on the side through this knuckle, now you're going to be pushing into the face, and you're going to use some variation of that right hand to do all the chucking and flinging and pushing. So one really kind of quick way to find it, hold the club straight out here in front of me, like hold it up in the air, and then waggle it fast. And then waggle it bigger. And like, what would it take in that right hand to do what you're doing there, right? So now hold it up baseball height, pull it way back, and then whip it through, but push off that finger. There you go. Do that again. Good. Now listen to that sound. All right, do it again. Push the finger. Where's the sound the loudest?
Right when I push the finger.
It starts here.
Right.
You hear it over here, right? Do it again. Where is it?
I'm hearing it like right here.
Yeah, it starts here and it kind of goes there. So here, take this stick, just in your right hand only. Cock it back and then whip it. It's off the finger. All right, you got to hold it in such a way that it's kind of in the fingertips a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
We want it in here, basically?
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just like hold it there, and then bring that finger down a little bit further. Like extend that finger out. Yeah, there you go. Like you're pinching it kind of between that thumb and finger. Yeah, there you go. That waggles great. Now whip it, or do it again. Yeah, now pull it way far back and whip it. Good, do it again. Now, again, it's kind of starting here and making it to there. We want to start way back behind you.
Got it.
So that starts back there and then comes through the ball. There you go, right? Now make a big shoulder turn. Now start your whip behind you. There, that's your golf swing. So don't throw down, throw sidearm. Yeah. So you got to fling it off that finger, right? And you got to fling it sidearm. There you go. Whereas the way you've been playing golf is you've been pushing down off your thumb. So let's take a club and grip it at this end. Just in your right hand only. Waggle it a little. It's heavier now. Pull it back, way back behind you. Kind of toss it, kind of like feel like you're throwing it. There you go, do it again. There. Yeah. Now don't throw it down and to the left. Throw it level. Or even throw it up a little. See how you have to lower your right arm to do that? Yeah. So it's kind of like that lacrosse when you're like sidearm.
So I need to be...
So you're like waggling it, and then flinging it off the finger, not off the thumb. There it is. All right, tee one up. Let's try it. Feels different, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, different is good. Yeah, we don't want it to feel the same. Yeah, so give me a waggle in behind the ball. Just feel like, okay, this is what I'm about to do. I'm going to kind of waggle it this way. There you go. Yeah. Then stand back a little bit further from the ball, because what's going to happen is when you do the sidearm throw, your arms are going to extend more. Yeah. Pull it back, and then we'll just toss it. Don't go full speed, but just toss it with that finger. There you go.
Yeah.
Feel the difference?
Yeah.
So there's a second part of what we're going to work on, but let's just figure this out first. Let you make some swings. We'll try it with a driver. We'll try it with the iron. but it's fundamentally a different location in the hand.
Yeah, I guess I was so concerned with my driver roll my hands over. That
Yeah.
I was using the thumb a lot, I guess.
Well,
Or just
correct. No, here, hold the club up here. So what was happening was, if I put resistance at this end, twist. I do some twisting, like twist,
Right.
like that. Go ahead, spin your wrist, yeah, like that, right? Now, you shouldn't be doing this through the golf swing, because then that, at the moment of impact, you could be there,
Right.
there, or there. What you should be doing is flinging it sideways,
Right.
and what you were doing is you were flinging it down, and then you were like, oh, it's coming down on an angle like this, and then you're like, how do I roll it over?
Got it.
So your energy was coming down like this, and then you're like, oh crap, how do I twist it? Which then required you to do a twist. If you don't ever actually push down, you don't ever actually have to fix this part.
Right.
If you're just coming from a sidearm location and you're flinging it that way, that's all you have to do. It's way simpler. So you may have to actually re-grip everything, left hand, right hand,
Yeah.
because what I've showed you is what you already did in lacrosse.
It's working better than what I've been doing with golf.
Yeah, yeah. So as you waggle, as you grip it, like readjust your fingers wherever they need to be for you to get the best waggle out of that hand. Let me see your hands. Yeah, so you need bigger grips for sure, because you're having a hard time trying to figure out where to put your hands.
I feel like I don't know where to grab.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll look into that. But let's pull it back and then flick it through for me, and let's see where it goes. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, I still felt
There's something, right? Yeah, so we're
on the right path.
yep, we're doing it. We just gotta. So then what'll happen is, to start with, do your grip, right? So instead of kind of setting your hands here, twist them to the right. Yeah, but still get this finger to do the throwing.
Right.
So what's gonna feel like is you're gonna kind of throw it more from like a lower place, like a sidearm, a low sidearm throw. Yeah, there you go. That felt better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm not getting it's like I'm almost tighter because of it.
Yeah, because you're squeezing,
Yeah.
probably a little tight. But it's just like if it's like when my kids were playing lacrosse and we wanted to go play catch in the park, they'd be like, oh, where's my gloves? Because you never wanted to throw without the feeling of your glove.
Yeah.
You don't know what that feels like yet for golf, like what's the right feel, but we'll get there. Yeah, there you go. You kind of waggle it back, pull it back, and then like give it a little toss, and that's, see where it goes. Yeah, there you go. Good one. Yeah, nice big backswing. Fine. Don't worry about contact.
Yeah.
We just got to get the feeling of that.
I felt myself push this.
Oh, did you off the thumb?
Like almost off the inside of like here.
Yep. So it should come off of that knuckle.
Yeah.
Like it should come off of here. So if I hooked your finger like this,
Right.
that's how you want to feel like you're pushing.
Got it.
And it basically comes off of like right there, and then extends up through your arm into your shoulder.
Got it.
Yeah. Just like if you would throw a ball,
Right.
like pick up that ball,
Yeah, it sits right here.
where are you going to throw it? Right off that knuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, nice big backswing. We're getting close, right? We just got to get that knuckle to pressure the club head in the right direction.
Right.
It's still pressuring it a little open.
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's another kind of visual to help. So let's say I took this box and I set it right here. And I said, set that driver on the back of the box.
On this back?
Yep, no, right there. And you're going to tap the box a little bit, just inch it forward, little taps. There you go, right? So whatever that feels like, I'm going to say it's probably going to be better if your hand's like more in the fingers and it's more like here, pressuring off the back of that knuckle, right? So go ahead and tap the box. Yeah, that way, right? Now, your hands are going to probably come through like tapping this direction. Right? So then look at the face.
Right.
So keep your hands here, but loosen them. Now tap it. right? So we got to get your hands and arms kind of over to the right so that when you tap, the face is closed.
Right, so even I can tell the difference in just looking at the club.
Yeah. So we're learning two things. One is the athletic thing that has to happen.
Right.
The hands have to figure out how to do this.
Right.
But then there's a collision that happens over here with the flatness of the face.
Right.
That's like a troubleshooting thing.
So it's almost like I was kind of lining up like straight over this, whatever the hell this says. This
Yeah,
spear,
yeah.
And it's almost like more on this line.
Yeah. So take your lacrosse stick again. Right, now let's say this is the basket here and you're going to chuck a ball that way.
Right.
What do you have to do with your hand?
Yeah.
You actually kind of have to put it on the back.
Yeah.
Right, so if you're throwing it this direction,
Yeah.
your hand is on the back pushing in that direction, right? Yeah, so that's exactly the same thing. You've got to push on the back of the shaft, not the top of the shaft.
Yeah, that already feels better, actually.
Yeah, so figure out how to pull it back and then toss it off the back of the shaft. Yeah, there you go. Making sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, that even felt better. I feel like before it was like my muscle was just clenched the whole time. But
Yeah.
when I move it back, it can be relaxed.
Yeah, and you're free. Like, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were probably told to hold the club this way by somebody at some point.
Yeah, like the 8th or 9th grade.
Right. But nobody explained that there's a way to hold it.
Right.
Like if I said, take that stick, and now we're not playing golf, but we're going to erect a fence along the perimeter. This is the stick, that's the hammer. Go in, pick up the hammer. What are you going to do with it? Yeah. No, you're going to probably hit it off the face.
Yeah.
Hit off that part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how to use
Yeah. How to use the tool. So now where you're pressuring, now it's making total sense.
Right.
So here's something interesting. This interlocking grip thing, don't have to do it.
Yeah. So if this feels better.
Yeah, it feels better. You have to take the tool
Right.
and hit the ball with your hands however they're on there, the most comfortable for what we're asking it to do.
Right.
So as you cock it back and pull it through, if you want to pull it back that way and then smack it through, that's totally fine.
Let's try it.
Yeah, do it however you feel is easiest for you.
Yeah, that felt much better. I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I was like as claustrophobic.
Yeah, and I would say it's because of the length of your fingers are kind of longer and skinnier, and they wrap around the other hand too much. Like you can't. That's why I think like a fatter grip right away would make it probably a little easier. You know, like a lacrosse stick is so much fatter, and it's octagonal, like it's got sides to it. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So still,
Yeah, let's just have fun with it. That's how you are going to own this so much faster, is if you don't here, come up here on the grass. You got all our tees up here anyway. You're not gonna learn this.
Yeah, it's just gonna figure it out.
You gotta like work it. Like you try it, trial and error, like pull it back, cock it through, set the wrist.
Yeah, this line is now helping.
Yeah, and then like just figure out how do you chuck that through there. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's two things that affect kind of how the ball curves. There's the path of the energy that you're swinging the club on, and then there's the face angle, right? So if you're coming through, so I'll show you. So let's say the path of the energy is kind of coming in straight, and the face is open. That's what's causing it to curve out to the right.
Right.
If the path was coming through here and the face was left of that, it would curve to the left. Right. So your path in general, because of what you're used to doing with your thumbs, is your path was coming out to in and across.
Right.
But because you're pushing down with your thumbs.
Got it.
Now that you're going to fling it sidearm, the path is going to start moving. So instead of coming down, it's coming in here, and eventually we want it coming deeper from the right side. So what's going to have to accompany that is when you fling from that finger, you're going to now feel, and I'll show you, go and put your hands on there, you're going to now feel like you're flinging it around your waist rather than off your shoulder. It's going to feel like it's coming from maybe around your rib cage.
And that's just also using more of my hips.
No, don't worry about your hips. Don't worry about your hips, yeah. You just got to figure out how do you fling it more like we were just pounding a stick, hammering down. Well, this stick is effectively laying on the ground sideways. You've got to pound the stick that way.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh, that was close. Even though you topped it, we had what's called a path and face match, which means if the path and the face are going together, it's a dead straight ball.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So you're still pushing off the thumb and you're still opening the face. So we got to get that finger. Let's try this. Let's extend that finger down the shaft a little bit. Like I'll point it down there. Yeah. Don't hit it hard, but push it from there. And let's see what that feels like to push off that finger. Yeah, there you go. Right, so what we don't want is the fullness of that finger, but we just want to curl the tip of the finger so that you're using still most of it. You still want to push here.
Yeah.
Right, it's like if I gave you that ball to throw, you're going to put it in your hand like this.
Yep.
You're not going to put it in the palm, but you're also not going to put it out on the tip of the finger. It has to be hooked. So you're essentially hooking the grip in that finger, and then you're going to use that finger to chuck it. Yeah, and really relax the left hand because it doesn't really do much more than just stabilize the club. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That felt a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, look at that. Now we're reducing the curve because we're throwing it out of the hand correctly.
Right.
Yeah,
and that dropping the finger down helps because it's almost becomes the focus.
Yes.
Too, and it's like to get my finger down.
Yeah.
To get lined up on this line.
Yeah, and then if we want to reduce the curve, we drop the finger, but we also drop it sidearm.
Got it.
Yeah. So drop that finger down here, like that. Pinch it a little bit. Yeah, that's the pinch. I love that grip. Yep. There you go. Mm-hmm. So let's do one more or two more with the driver, and then we'll go back and hit some like little 9-irons, just so that you can kind of feel what it feels like on an iron too. Yeah, there you go. So kind of set both hands to the right, drop that finger, kind of pinch that finger. There you go. Then figure out how to push it through the ball that way. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Good one. Mm-hmm. Starting to feel it?
Yeah.
And then
I'm feeling it.
And then what?
It feels restricting in a way.
Yeah.
Like I can't get the full range of motion that I used to have.
Yeah.
But I think that's also because it's like less wristy.
Right. Well, and then what's happening is a restriction is because your wrists are doing something completely different.
Right.
So do your grip, I'll show you what I mean. So if it makes sense now for you to be pushing on the back of the ball with your hands this way, doesn't it make sense to kind of take it back with the face kind of more here?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to roll it open to here and then at 100 miles an hour figure out how to
get it around.
So as you take the club back, you kind of feel like you keep the face a little bit more in that position. And then when you whip it through, there's very little twisting that's going on with the hands. Because that's where pretty much most people's inconsistency comes from, is this twisting thing that's going on. You know, think about like you were just hammering a stake into the ground. You would be really bad at your job if you did this while you were hammering.
Right.
It's way easier just to do that. Yeah, there you go. So kind of take it back and then fling it through all in one kind of direction. Yeah, there you go. Much better. Yep. And just know that you have complete permission to adjust your hands
Right.
to make that go better.
Right.
Feel better in the fingers, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I think the awkward thing is it's less about the hand on the back, it's more about the finger up or down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and down just gives you more leverage. Yeah. Look at that, you got a draw.
There we go. Yeah, so that.
Yeah, we'll stick with the driver actually because you're getting it. You're feeling it. It's fun, right?
Yeah,
And that's where like getting the information from you that you played lacrosse is helpful, because then you're like, oh yeah, duh. Why would I?
right.
If I'm gonna do this and fling my stick in this direction, I'm not gonna like do any that stuff.
I grew up surfing, so I always teaching my friends how to surf. It's so hard to teach them
Yeah.
when they're older.
Yeah.
And
Surfing's
I always
hard.
go back to like, okay, I learned how to play golf when I'm older.
Right.
It's not as instinctual.
Correct. Yeah, there you go. Love that setup. There you go. So where there comes a point in your looking at the ball flight is kind of like, okay, my hands, I feel the pressure of the shaft. I can now fling the club in the right spot. What about if I need to turn the angle of the club a little bit because it's just too hard right now for me to get this matched up.
Right.
So that's where you drop your hands, you roll your hands a little further to the right so that when you do what feels pretty good, like that last one, then we can look up and start seeing that ball draw because we've already created an extra angle.
Right.
That's okay.
That was a lot of this.
So you topped it. You probably felt like you were a little out of position when you started, but
Yeah.
you topped it and it went straight that way. There wasn't any, wasn't like a slice swing that you are used to. Yeah, there you go. So
I felt that.
did you feel that? It was the old move, the shoulder, the thumb, everything pushed open instead of waggling that finger and getting that release through there. Here, let's come back over here on the mat again. So here, I'll have you video. I'm just recording the whole thing. So right there. I'll show you. So it's kind of in this station over here. Right. So this is this action here. Right. So now, before you're gripping thumb on top, and when you pushed, you're pushing off your arm going this way.
Right.
Now you're pushing sideways, right? So as you push, you're pushing the wrist in this direction. So if I set up here and I push, I'm going to get the ball to take off. And if I push from here, it's actually going to create a little bit of a draw because I'm kind of pushing from the side.
Right.
Whereas you've been used to pushing down.
Right.
So that's a little bit is still in your swing. Because we're at a driver, you're taking the club way back. And you're a little stuck because you're back here pushing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take like a pitching wedge. And we're going to hit some little chips so that you can figure out that.
Right.
And then we'll just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But the trick is you should still be pushing your hand this way, not
Over the top.
to the top.
Yeah.
So grab a pitching wedge. Yeah, and then just flick your wrist kind of to the side. And if we can get the club to actually start coming, from a little bit in to out with the flick, then what'll happen is we'll start seeing these little 50-yard chips will start to draw. Yeah, there you go. So see if you can create that type of a shape with your...
Do you think I should keep the interlock here, or?
At this point, I think the interlock messes you up.
Yeah. All right.
And I think it's a significant change in what we're doing with your hands. But I feel like if you, just go half little, like knee height to knee height swings. Because once you get the club up here above your shoulder, it's like an old firing pattern kicks in.
Right.
So keep your hands under waist height and just flick it. There you go. Yeah, we'll just hit a 20, 30 shots where you're just really just flicking the wrist. Perfect. See, there's a little draw. So we've got to get that convergence of those two angles. We've got to feel like the club's kind of coming past your right foot, and then you're flicking it out to there. That was late. So you flicked your hands, but do your grip. So you had hit the ball on your way to a flick.
Right.
So you have to flick in here before you even get to the ball.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So. There you go. A little draw. It's actually spinning to the left in the air. Yeah. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, I can really feel it.
Yeah. Well, it's that efficiency word now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that flinging kind of feeling. Ooh, there you go. Really good. Really good. Yeah. So let's switch your hands, even twist them more. Twist them back toward me. Yeah, and then get that in past the right foot flinging. There you go. Yeah, if we can kind of get used to getting those hands underneath, that'll really help us by the time we get to our driver. Yeah, and then pull it back and stop back here. Yep, don't open the face up. Leave it like that. So that you can go this way.
Right.
If you pull it back here, you might push off the thumb. Right. Now you're in the wrong spot. So you got to feel like you're always pushing that way. Much better. Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be key, is figuring out how to not really twist that club open. Yeah. So go back and stop in your backswing. Right? So if I said you were gonna hammer this stick here, that makes sense. Yeah. that you're doing that. It doesn't make any sense to twist it while you're doing it. Yeah, there you go. Look at that, straight ball.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because before I was here.
Yeah.
And then trying to tie it all off.
Yeah, so what would happen is you started straight, you rolled it open, and then you pushed off the thumb. So by the time you pushed off the thumb, there's no way you could square up the face.
And the feedback I've always gotten is you're not getting your hands around. So get your hands around.
Right, yeah.
I spent, years doing it, just trying to get my hands.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're playing, that's why early on you said, well, sometimes I figure it out in the middle of the summer, I figure it out. Well, that's just because you work so hard at twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting. But yeah, twisting is the worst way. Yeah. Or I shouldn't say the worst, it's just the least effective, because you have to somehow time it. But if you're never actually twisting and you're just kind of flicking like this, it's so much easier. Yeah. So go back and stop again, and then check your hands. Right, that face should always be pointed like down here at the ball.
So I'm just taking the club up too high too?
No, you can take it back a little. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Yep, and then chuck it with the right hand. There you go. Yeah. So nice, kind of pull it back and then pressure it. That's so good. That's like scratch golfer material right there.
Yeah, the wrist flick.
Yeah.
It just feels more natural too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, somebody that's done the sports that you've done and you're in good shape, you're strong, you should be hitting it much further. You were just doing it inefficiently.
Yeah, and I go through periods of time where, like...
Yeah, there you go.
I can hit the ball really far.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my numbers down, and then all of a sudden I go through weeks where it's like 20 yards shorter.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yep, and that's just and that's where like you might lose 40 or 50 yards on a drive. You might only lose 5 to 10 on a wedge because it's just the way it works. The collision of those angles is different.
Yeah, because also these shafts can be like.
Yeah, there you go. There's a high draw. Look how far that's going to go. Right? So now we're hitting a pitching wedge that's getting out closer to the 150 mark.
Yeah.
Instead of like a 8-iron or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. 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 So just do whatever it takes to get your hands to work the way we're talking about. Yeah, that's fine. You can press them forward.
And I think that's one thing I go back and forth on too, is like where it's the ball in the middle or the front, you know, like how far forward should my hands be?
Yeah.
I always kind of confuse myself there.
Yeah, middle and hands a little in front,
yeah.
Especially for what we're working on. That's better. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's better for you. I mean, that was pure.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
So much easier. So we'll graduate here. We'll do one more with that one. Keep it kind of smaller swing, and then we'll do 7-iron. We'll figure out how to get these hands in the right spot. So if you're here, like even if you're here and these hands are here, I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with this. Try it like that. It's gonna be so much easier for you to square the face. I mean, look at that. Look at that high draw.
Yeah.
Right? And the only reason why it went toward the tree line is because you're used to aiming over there, because your ball never goes there. It always fades over here.
My buddy George always says, I'll give you $20 if you miss one left the whole round. It never happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So aim over here in the middle of the range. Do that grip I just showed you. Press your hands. Yeah, there you go. Right. So, and then you're going to swing out toward that yellow flag on the right side of the range there. Yep. Yep. So you dropped the face open. You didn't keep it square.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like an alignment thing too. Like I've been getting better for lining something up, just to look at something in front of me.
Yeah.
And that helps me visually. So I often lose myself a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, that was pure. Right? Look how efficient that was. That's like you hammering a nail into a 2x4, just boom, one strike. Whereas your other way, you'd have to hit it like 4 or 5 times.
Right. So, see, all these lines are the same, so it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, so that looks good. Let's check from here. Yeah, great.
That was too much.
No, you were standing too close, so you hit the ground. Just give yourself a little bit more space. Yeah, press those hands forward a little bit. Yeah, there you go. And then just do a small swing. Try to figure it out. Yeah, there you go. Really straight ball there. So you always want to start out your practice sessions just hitting short ones.
Right.
And what you're trying to do right
Just
away
get
is
contact,
like go ahead and go back here and stop. Yeah, just keep that there.
Right.
And then as you come through, don't open it through the ball. If anything, kind of keep it going this way.
Right.
But that's where that right hand for you is so key, is knowing kind of the correlation between like the back, there you go, the back of the right hand and the face.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah, this is
pressuring these fingers, this knuckle here, this, it's all connected to the club face. Wherever your right hand is going is where the face is going.
Yeah, I used to line up with the club so much like I would never be here.
Right.
I would always be like here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you were there, your thumbs were on top and you were pushing up and down. Yeah. Yeah, really good. All right, now let's do a bigger swing from the same kind of setup. Just add more speed to it. Yep. There you go. Stand back just a little, because that one there ended up pushing to the right just because you were standing too close.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Yep. There it is, little draw. Nice.
All right. What a difference it's made.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that next time you bet George, you're like, okay, it's $100.
Yeah, exactly.
I can make it go left on command now. Look at that. That's pure.
Yeah, it just feels so much more natural.
Yep. Yep. So we have to get the information in your brain first, which is took a while to understand. Okay, lacrosse, throw this. What am I doing with this hand? Now you're understanding that yes, you have to do that, but we have to cheat a little bit with these setup.
Right.
And I call it a cheat only because everybody else calls it a cheat. But the reality is everybody's different.
Yeah, just playing for what I know.
Whatever helps you achieve what you're trying to do, that's what we want to do. So if you can get your hands in that spot and then pressure the back of the club, not the top. Yeah, right? So it was maybe a little late with what we were talking about. The thumbs reverted and pushed a little open. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then really get that, you get your grip even more. Do your grip even more. Both hands. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Let's try this one. Right? That's never going to go right. And that's actually kind of right where your feet are pointed because you're still used to.
Yeah, I was going to say, like.
Yeah, so here. Let's get you pointed at that big tree in the distance, kind of over on the right side of the range. So we're kind of going over that yellow flag, the brightest yellow one. It's only 100 yards out. Yeah, so aim there to start with. Yeah, do that grip extremely strong. That's what's called a strong grip. It's not because it's strong because you're squeezing tight. It's strong because all of these body parts are kind of like twisted and twisted over this way. Yeah, there you go.
And if I'm feeling like I'm far away from the club, or from the ball, I just gotta get my knees back.
You typically stand too close.
Yeah.
So you should feel far.
Yeah.
Because you typically stand just a little too close. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So see how that one, it started a little left, but it's drawing.
Yeah, I kind of felt myself flick too soon almost.
Maybe. Yeah. Because you ran into the mat too, right? So you flicked a little early, and that'll be the tendency. If you flick a little early, you kind of dump it into the mat. There you go.
Yeah, it kind of felt the same though.
Right.
So like if I'm here, when should I start thinking about flicking at the top of my swing?
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, just don't overthink it. Just do it feels natural.
Yeah, it's like if you've got that ball in the lacrosse head. You know when you get the lacrosse head and the ball is like too deep in the pocket and it doesn't fling out quite right. It's kind of like a natural timing where you're like, oh, it's in that sweet spot. Boom. Yeah. And then you try not to change the pocket because if you like restring it, then you're like, oh no, I don't know where it is. That's kind of the same thing. You know, you just got to get a feel. And that's where grip pressure comes in. Like if you're gripping the club too tight, you won't know where the club is in the swing. Yeah, that was really well timed out there.
Yeah, so that was, I felt like I was a lot, those last shots, my hands were farther down here. Just kind of brought it back a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, all of those things are becoming like stuff you'll kind of work through. The grip and the pushing on the correct side. There it is, really good. That's the main thing. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, and just remember that as we're working on the pushing, we're also working on getting that club behind, like, here, film this from this angle. So I'll go stand kind of on the orange line back there. So when your thumbs were on top like this, you would inevitably kind of pick the club up here, and then you would toss it this direction.
Yep.
Toss it outside that line, which then puts the cut spin. So now that your hands are kind of more on the side, here, you want to feel like go ahead and bring it in here, because when you bring it in here, then you can toss it from behind, and then it comes out and curve. But that's partly what we're doing here, but also partly what we're doing here.
Right.
If you have this grip and you toss it back over there, well then it's going to go.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, so it's just with each club, it's like, what's that pop with?
Yeah, yeah. And then we start with the grip and how to use the hands, and then we move it on a pathway that really matches up well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Love that. Such a good swing. That was really good. Yeah, there you go. So any other stuff that you've seen or read or heard or whatever? Oh, you got to bring the club from the inside.
I see that stuff and I'm like, I don't know what the hell, how this relates to me. So.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So now that you're holding it the way you should be holding it, it's working so much better. Yeah, good adjustment. Pull it in and then chuck it. So good. Look how straight that went. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we'll try a couple more and then we'll finish up with some drivers. Yeah, nice big turn. Pull that club inside. Yeah, love that adjustment in the fingers of the grip. Boom, nice. Yeah, wasn't a sweet spot, but you did a lot of good things.
Going straight and far when it's not the sweet spot.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because you're throwing it out there. That flag that your ball landed by is 173. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love that. Watch where this lands. It's going to fly over the 173 flag. So it's going like 185 to 190 on a 7-iron. Because huge difference, right? What do you normally hit it?
170.
Yeah, 170. I mean, that's easily 185. Because you're not losing all that energy. Right. Yep. Yeah. Another one. Yeah.
I felt that slip a little bit.
It did. That's the collision. So you hit a little too much mat. Yeah. You hit the ball a little off the toe. You misstruck it. But let's really, I like the forward press for you. So when you watch this video, like I think here, kind of like lining up to like your left pocket is good. Yep. I think if it's outside, that's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I kind of like what you're doing here. This is looking much better with this placement. I don't mind the thumb here because you're not using it. Mm-hmm. You're using it off the back of the club now. Much better, much better.
And I'm not thinking about, I mean, I still feel my foot going like this.
Yeah.
But it's not the focus.
No. It should never be the focus.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, that's what your buddy saw.
Right.
That has nothing to do with what was wrong. And that movement, actually, the foot coming out is actually good for protecting your body. Because if your foot stayed planted, you would do damage to your knee.
Right.
So if your foot happens to spin out, so be it. It is what it is. It's got nothing to do with your swing. All right, let's finish up with some drivers and let's see if we can get the driver to square up. There you go. Yeah, and this is, I basically recorded the whole time other than your warm-up. Yeah. It's really like, by the time we're done, we're going to have 50 minutes or more. So I'll just put this, if it's okay with you, I'll just put it on my YouTube.
Yeah.
And then that way you can just watch it there. Yeah, really exaggerate the grip.
Okay, so left pocket.
Yeah, so it's okay to be kind of here.
Right.
See, it's relative to where the ball is. So if the ball is up front, your hands are actually probably outside your pocket. Because an iron is kind of more middle.
Right.
So we want to keep this angle. Think of it like a capital letter Y versus a lowercase y.
Got it.
If you have effectively a straight line down your left arm to the ball, it's kind of like from the shoulder. It's like a straight line, a lowercase y, versus where you used to set up, which was like a capital letter Y. Yep, and then back up so you have a lot more space. Yeah, all right, clear for takeoff. Yep. So you feel that when you came through, you push the face this way.
Yeah.
So what I found is most people will actually do better just taking their both hands further. So wherever they were on the 7-iron, twist them further for the driver. It's still the same pressuring. You're still going to be pushing, but yeah, you're going to start more there. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There it is. Nice straight ball. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen is, because you know it's coming out of the chute straighter, man, you can start unloading on it.
Yeah.
You know it's the efficiency's there. You don't have to guide it. You can whip it through as fast as you want. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Making good sense?
Yeah, total sense.
Yeah.
It's so much more natural than what I'm doing.
Well, that's what we want. Like, thinking about stuff is bad. We want it to be as natural as we can. There you go. Now see the direction that took off on?
Yeah.
That's right where your feet are pointed. So you can adjust your aim just a little bit more to the right.
It's gonna be hard to have to aim straight.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's much better. Give yourself more space. That's where you should be on the driver. So just a real quick one, and you can review this on the video, but do your setup. Your front of your arm should be in front of your chest for a driver, like further away.
Got it.
Then for an iron, it's kind of like level, but nothing should ever be behind. Your bicep should never be behind your chest. Your chest is like the minimum, and then you go out for the driver. Yeah, so once your driver's out there, then you can swing it more freely. Yeah, you just didn't have your grip in the right spot. It was kind of almost back to normal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or get it really sideways on the driver. It's just something you just kind of have to work through. Yeah, there you go.
I felt that. I saw that.
Yeah. So now that you understand, like, you're supposed to be pressuring the back of the shaft, not the top.
Right.
Now this setup, right? So we're doing this, we're doing this,
Right.
we're doing this. Everything's kind of like for a sidearm throw.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about, if you're playing lacrosse and you want to get really low and chuck one down low, you have to like drop everything. So now that's where you are with the driver. And then you can throw it through their sidearm. There you go. See the difference? So there's really two fundamental changes. One is you're going to pressure the side with your throwing hand.
Right.
The second one is you have to change the path. You have to change. It's a sidearm throw, not a down throw.
Right.
The pieces of the puzzle that'll just take time is, how do I hold this thing? Do I want to go back to interlock? Do I want to do 10 finger?
No, I honestly feel so
You know?
much better without it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of like maybe on the shorter clubs, I won't feel like I'm gripping the club as tight. It loosens it up a little bit. But no, this makes sense because I can really get my hand around it.
Right.
And can protect myself.
Yeah. And so once it's there, all that force can then go from that hand into the shoulder, which then goes from the shoulder to the rest of your body.
Right.
So you can really put a lot of speed on it. So let's say that there's some like preferences, but then there's laws. The laws are, you have to pressure the club off the right spot. It's use the tool properly.
Right.
Like, if we're hammering this face straight down, you gotta put your hand in the right place to do that. So now you're going this way, so now you have to go sideways, right? The preference is going to be more like how much of this grip, because you'll see this variation on the tour. Everybody's hand placement's different, but they're all basically doing the same thing here. Yeah. So where you put your hands isn't as much of an issue for me. It's more like what feels good so that you can put it in the right spot. Yeah. All right, finish up with one more. Let's hit it hard and see where it goes.
All right.
Yeah. Just exaggerate the grip a little. Aim right a little. And then throw it sidearm. Okay. But look at how much energy went into that, though.
Yeah.
So that's actually what we would call a power fade and not a weak fade.
Right.
Right? So a ball that, by the way, a ball that fades or draws doesn't not one doesn't necessarily go further than the other. The reason why a fade goes a little less is because you've added loft to make that happen. A draw typically goes further because you de-loft to make it go that way a little bit. But once you've got very little movement either way, that's efficiency. So you can play golf with a little fade or a little draw. You can't play golf with a big hook or a big slice. So we just got to get you straight would be pretty good. All right, cool, very good.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.